Welcome to the Heidi Thorne Show. I'm your host, Heidi Thorne, and in this podcast, I share my real-world self-publishing and small business experience with you. So let's get started with today's show. Now, I'm going to break a lot of hearts with this particular episode, so I apologize in advance. But we're going to have to talk about whether it's even worth your while to write your memoir or autobiography or a biography of maybe a family member. These are what I call legacy books. These are personal stories written by people who have never published anything before, yet they're willing to take on this epic challenge. And usually in the emails I get about these, they'll say something like, if I could make a few book sales or make a little money, that would be great. Here's the part where I throw a bucket of cold water reality on them. Now, why do I do that? First, there's really nothing wrong with wanting to memorialize your personal history or your family's history in a story or a book like this. The problem comes in where these authors equate the personal value of these books with market value. They don't have any followers on social media who are going to be interested in reading their books. And they don't realize that the market value of these stories of random non-celebrity people is really low. No one's going to be searching for their book on Amazon or Google. It's not just going to magically show up and sales will be made. And even if people were looking for legacy books like this, there are thousands of these books already out there. It's an extremely competitive market space. Now, these legacy authors, they usually put something in their emails or messages to me that says that this book is going to be their first and maybe only or last book. Terribly inexperienced. They have no idea what they're walking into. As we've talked about on other podcasts, there's all the legal issues of libel, slander, privacy rights, confidentiality, all of those things that go into writing a book in general. They don't know they need that. And I usually know that I'm dealing with a complete newbie because they usually put in there how many words their manuscript is, and it's usually huge. One of the manuscripts like this that I reviewed, actually critiqued, was 175,000 words. Another one told me that the book was going to be 500 pages. Do you know what a 500-page book looks like? I'll show you. For those of you who are just listening on audio, it's a big book. And this is going to be their first and maybe only book project. Oh my goodness, they don't even know what they're trying to do. These newbie authors, they err on the side of what I call words per pound of book equates with the value of the book. That's not the case. Commercially available novels in the bookstores are anywhere from 40 to 70,000 words, 100,000 words on the outside, and that being extraordinarily long. These people don't realize that they need some serious editing help to make this pile of words into something that's wonderful to read. They also don't realize that picking out a storyline from real events is a really advanced writing skill. So they just put everything in. And they're doing that because they're afraid they're going to leave out some detail that will tick off some relative of theirs who reads it. And this really points to the biggest problem. These authors don't care if their books don't make the grade in the marketplace because they're not writing for readers in the marketplace. They're writing for themselves and for their own inner circle, and they've mixed up personal value and market value. The other thing that I think is hilarious about this is they usually say they don't care about sales. They'd be glad to sell a few copies or make a little money. And when they say that, I usually do confirm that they will sell a few copies, like a number you can count on one hand. They might sell copies to their grandpa and grandma, aunts, uncles, kids, friends, but not much beyond that. I really think, though, that these authors don't really want to publish and write a memoir or biography. What they really want is a nice presentation of their own or their family's story in a printed form, a beautifully printed form that they can share with their family and friends. For those folks, I recommend that they go to a self-publishing platform such as Lulu, which does offer a version of print book that's on gloss stock, which is great for pictures if they do want to include them. Because the perfect bound books that you get through Kindle Direct Publishing, they're just on regular paper. And so they don't have that same richness that you would get with something that's printed on a nicely coated stock. And if they need to see their book up on Amazon to feed their ego, Lulu can help them with that. For some people, I've even recommended that they go to a service such as Shutterfly, where you can create a beautiful portfolio type book with pictures and text, and they make great gifts. I've done it myself, and the results are fantastic. And that would be appropriate as gifts for their family and friends and a way to celebrate their lives or the events in their lives. They don't need to go through this whole publishing route for some of these authors. I even suggest that they go with a videographer who can interview them or other family members to tell the story that they want to tell. And then the videographer can edit all those clips and footage together into something that is like a mini movie of their lives or highlighting some events in their lives. That's really good. And you have to get a really good videographer for that who can know how to ask the right questions so that the story flows well and all the important pieces are there. But I've seen it done, and it really is a nice presentation. And if they really are not interested in making money, which I think they really are, but let's say they're not, they could post that on YouTube so that everybody can do it, because that's the other thing that they usually say. I want to share my story with the world because I'm going to help the world. So no, I don't think the world absolutely needs your memoir or biography or autobiography. Just really think about your reader and what they want to get out of this story. So I hope you found this helpful as you may be considering this type of book. And if you did find it helpful, please rate, review, and subscribe to The Heidi Thorne Show on whatever podcast platform you like to listen on. I'm on Apple Podcast and Spotify and Stitcher and Google Podcast and Podbean. If you like the video better, you just have to go to my Heidi Thorne YouTube channel and subscribe. Turn on the notifications so that you get an alert when a new video is available, and you'll get the video podcast there. And if you'd like to see my self-published books, they are available on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. All you have to do is search for my name, Heidi Thorne, and a list of all the books available there should show up. I would appreciate it if you would share my books or videos or podcast with your friends on social media. And if you'd like to connect with me, my website is very simply HeidiThorne.com. Thank you so much for listening and for your support. I'll look forward to talking with you again in the next episode. And in the meantime, have a great day.